Мы босиком бегали по песку мальчишки.
We used to run barefoot in the sand. Boys observed the heat of these sands.
Этих песков.
And it was probably so vividly engraved in these works and our pupils.
Это запечатлелись.
A small old picture full of vivid colors makes us look at the square with interest. We immediately start to think about Malevich's Black Square. Amazingly, this picture was painted the same year as Malevich's. Only here, its creator Agziya Shapa hardly heard about it. Tabuldy Mukatov kept this relic as a memory of his grandmother. She was a real artist, and her creations were imprinted in the soul, in the mind of Tabuldy. If you ask him about the origins, the first thing that comes to his mind is his dear Agziya Shapa.
Когда попадаешь в мастерскую, видишь листы, полотна.
When you come to the workshop and see sheets, canvases, you are amazed that this is a box, magic box.
Рассказывает и показывает то, чего ты просто не знал и не мог подозревать. Я бы сказала, что
It tells and shows what we simply did not know about and could not suspect.
Именно в издательстве у Tabuldy как бы раскрылись те.
I would say that for his long activity, namely in publishing, Tabuldy has revealed those qualities that are hidden for everyday look, and they appear only when one touches the sheet or the book.
Соприкосновением листа или самой книги.
When I look at his works, I want to enjoy this beauty and all the splendor of nature. Steppes, mountains, this land. His works are similar to Kurak Korpe, a patchwork, or Tikimet. In the heart of the Narin Sands, in the village of Orpa, Tabuldy Mukatov was born. Orpa, the name of the well which was dug in the ancient times of the nomads. The water was used for cattle, and it was life-giving moisture for the steppe inhabitants. There was sand everywhere, and when Tabuldy went to school, as there were no notebooks and papers, they wrote on the yellowed pages of accounting journals and on sand. They wrote the first letters. The sand was unbearably hot. It burned the legs of the boys of village. Perhaps this overflowing love to life was born from the thrill of the scorching sun and the orange-red glare. Some kind of peace that is characteristic of the earth, the sun, all this nature, as if is poured into the soul, into the mind of the artist.
В душе и сознании художника. И вот эта гармония, мне кажется.
And it seems to me, this harmony is the most important thing in his work. This simplicity is such a powerful simplicity, apparently observed by Tabuldy.
Когда он родился,
when he was born, when he left his village, it seems to me that when he watched these things, he felt the breath of the earth, his earth, which is transmitted to us.
Его земли, который нам передается.
Наверное, песочный вот этот мир, песчаный, песков.
Probably the sandy world of sandy sands is shown in the works. I think so. And everything is compositional, both the organization of the sheet and the technique that expresses this language, which is known to you since childhood, which is depicted in your works, in your soul, and on the sand with a stick.
Твоих работа, твоих души и на песке с палочкой.
Когда я смотрю на его картины, я вспоминаю.
When I look at his paintings, I remember the smell of clay. The smell of clay. Because we lived, we were born there, breathed this air from the cradle.
Питали вот этот воздух с колыбели. Его главная тема – это небо.
His main themes are heaven, earth, horseman and man.
Абылхан Кастеев когда попал их 30...
In 1934, Sahira Manova, Mimbayeva and Abulkhan Kosteyev were sent to Moscow for refresher courses.
На повышение квалификации, он в номере в Москве.
He was sitting in the hotel Moscow from morning to evening, drawing his own village. And when Sahira Manov and Mimbayev, having walked around the city, returned, he also sat and painted.
Вернулись, он также сидел и рисовал, как утром я. И они удивлялись, как вы запомнили...
They were surprised. How did you remember everything in your village, they asked. And he answered that everything stands before his eyes. They stand in his mind. Probably this too is somehow fixed in his mind, fixed by the eyes and the soul.
Глазами, душой.
A story about how Doubleday became a student. The story is almost unbelievable if it had not actually happened. He came to Alma-Ata to enroll in the Veterinary Institute, but there was a long queue for the documents, and besides, he forgot some documents. The art school was situated on Abay Avenue. The entrance exams were long over, and he went straight to the director's office. He told that he worked as a shepherd, that he had been dreaming about painting since childhood, and he is from a distant village, and he should definitely study to be an artist. Then he showed his drawings, and somehow Akrab Zhubanov believed in this young man, and the director relied on his inner instinct and put him in the list of students of the art school.
После училища поехал во Львов.
After college, I went to Lvov, to the Polygraphic Institute. At that time, graduates of universities were sent to Moscow, Leningrad, Kharkov, and in the first year of study, we had a liner cut lesson.
И тогда на первом курсе у нас был урок или на гравюре. Наш преподаватель Владимир Степанович Овчинников.
Our teacher, Vladimir Stepanovich Ovchinnikov, was teaching graphic arts and then liner cut. We were given a task. It was such a free topic, how to master the engraving. You cover with black color. You cover the surface with mascara. And when you cut out, the clean space is all white. When I finished and brought it to Vladimir Stepanovich, he said, "Well done, good, black is saved."
Когда задание принес, Владимир Степанович сказал: "Молодец, хорошо. Черное сохранил", говорит. По неопытности.
He said, due to inexperience, students always cut everything, and the surface becomes white.
До конца белым становится поверхность. Но ты оставил.
But you left droplets on the forehead, on the face. This creates space. Of course, I did all this with my intuition.
Я, конечно, интуитивно это все делал.
In 1975, he was invited to the Zhazusha publishing house as an art editor to brighten up the world with picture. He was engaged in illustration of 500 books. A special place in this series is occupied by the book of poems written by Mahomet Utimisov, released on the 200th anniversary of the poet, and it was awarded with a gold medal of UNESCO.
Эта книга вся построена на...
This book is written due to skill and talent, namely skill and talent. The ornament is proof for that, and the font, and each line, and every little detail.
Строчка, и каждая небольшая деталь. Особенно меня поражает...
I am particularly struck by the handwritten font of the text. The ancient text of the famous poet.
Древнего текста знаменитого поэта. Это, как говорится, просто...
It's just a treasure, such a connection of times.
Времен.
Мне очень нравятся его работы, те, которые...
I really like his works, especially those that were painted at the beginning of his creativity. My favorite book that he designed was Ahan Sire. There are graphics there. It is so detailed work, and every time I flick through them, every time I find something new.
Я для себя каждый раз что-то новое нахожу.
Art critics would later write that the specific world of book adventures and experiences traditional allegorical signs of love, hope and faith have become the themes and subjects of many works of the artist.
Ну, возьмите хотя бы карандаш, который мы иногда...
But at least take a pencil. We sometimes think with the help of them. These are such everyday tools.
Средства, но из него появляются рисунки, которые...
But due to it, we get pictures that begin to speak so loudly. They feel your being, and then you start to feel this air.
Что ты начинаешь проникаться этим воздухом.
Pictures play a special role in his creativity. Watercolor cycles revealed a special talent of the artist. Transparent washes with ink and watercolors, just a little yellowed with water, convey the most subtle picturesque nuances and the most complex lightning effects, give an elusive refined character to color. In my opinion, there are only 12 real artists in Kazakhstan. Salihidin Айтбаев, Шеймардан Цариев, Шарденов, Ali Jusupov. They are great artists. In their pictures, there is a great philosophy of life. In each painting canvas, one feels the hand of a true master who has gone through a good school of fine art. And looking at the painting of Айтбаев, we are not able to comprehend how he created them.
Когда папа делает наброски, он умеет выделить именно...
When dad makes sketches, he knows how to highlight that person's character trait in his sketch. And it's amazing. 2 or 3 lines. The very nature of the person is visible in the portrait.
В папиных портретах.
Blinding by color occurs unexpectedly when the artist puts his canvas one after another on an easel. There is his soul, the soul of the inhabitant of the steppe regions. He feels his land, nature, history and traditions. He is endlessly attracted by the pictures of his native village, scenes of life, sounds and tunes. He would never part with his magical world, where he felt so good, where his close people live, where one can enjoy special sunrises and such gentle and colorful sunsets. That animal world, the smell of Jusan, widow grass, and beautiful and free running horses. They are present in all the works of artists. And it is amazingly beautiful, it is impressive and inspiring. Tabulty Mukatov belongs to the generation of 60s. Of course, this is a special caste of people who feel the world with the freedom of their sound while doing creative work. Their public appearance is a revolution. They were incredibly talented, uniquely beautiful, and of course, they were best in the ability to live, to love, to be friends.
Шестидесятники – это особенное поколение казахским изобразителей.
Representatives of the 60s are a special generation in the Kazakh visual arts. They came from distant villages and regions.
И областей, кстати, училище Алматинское – это самые высшие специальности давал.
And by the way, the highest specialization was provided at the Almaty school. The teachers were Cherkassky Abram, and the whole generation grew up with the help of these teachers: Salihidin Айтбаев, Makum Kisamedinov, Oralbek Жумаев, Тогузбаев.
Тогузбаев – это целое хорошее поколение.
This is good generation, creative thinkers. They were in contact with the earth, with the sky.
Небом, атмосферой.
Я давно знаю Табылды и не раз его видела рядом.
I have known Tabuldy for a long time, and more than once I saw him next to our friends, artists, Айтбаев, Цариев.
У каждого был свой характер, свое отношение к творческой судьбе.
Each of them had their own character, own attitude to creative destiny. And he does not demonstrate his resilience, he lives in it. This is the most beautiful thing that distinguishes him, probably from all others.
отличает, наверное, от всех других. Хотя я скажу, что Табылды впитал...
Although I will say that Tabıldı took an example from the guys, for us, the guys, and for others, they are famous artists.
Для других известные художники, они также увлекались...
They were also fond of Gauguin, Van Gogh, Matisse.
Матиссом. И это вполне понятно, потому что те художники...
And this is quite understandable, because those artists are from faraway France. He was fond of the East, our East, with yellow steppes, with such blue skies and beautiful mud huts.
Голубыми небесами и прекрасными мазанками.
Французское искусство, немецкое искусство, экспрессионизм,
French art, German art, expressionism, post-impressionism. This is a discovery for painting of the end of the second half of the 20th century and the beginning of our time.
И начало вот нашей времени. Их достижения всегда, конечно, воспринимать надо.
The achievements of that time should be well welcomed. In general, Russian art of the 14th, 15th centuries, it was great art made by the Russian Theophanes, the Greek Andrei Rublev.
Андрея Рублева. Вот это великое искусство. Матисс как-то его пригласили в Россию. Он видел...
Matisse somehow was invited to Russia. After he saw the Ferapontov monastery, he said, "And why are you all dream of France? Your art is great. Look at them and bring up yourself." The great artist of the 20th century said that.
Вот смотрите на них и воспитывайтесь на них. Это великий художник 20 века сказал.
Of course, they learned a lot from Russian artists, comprehended the art of world masters of fine art. They painted in the open air.
Суретшілердің, жауһарларын өздері көріп, Ресейде Ілбекте оқыған ғой бұл кісілер. Ол кезде жан-жаққа өздері симпозиумға шығады.
There were various symposia where artists could exchange creative ideas, secrets of visual means, and rise the art to a high level.
Қайталанбас өзінің бет-пердесін жасаған адамдар. Мен сол тұрғыда бұл кісінің жұмыстарын...
Я на фоне портрета моей мамы, который написал мой дядя.
It is the portrait of my mother, painted by my uncle Kaljan. Salihidin Айтбаев. In fact, my mother was very talented. I now see the sketches she made, sketches or large paintings.
Она делала наброски, либо еще какие-то небольшие такие зарисовки, либо большие картины. И в этом, мне кажется...
And it seems to me that Dad was lucky too. My mother was a very good critic for my father. I remember Mom and Dad talking. They discussed when Dad illustrated the books.
Когда папа оформлял книги.
Layla is engaged in ceramics. She is not yet a magician, she is just learning. But the second daughter of the artist, Medina, lives in England. She inherited this magical gift from grandmother Axiyash and her father, Tabıldı Mukatov.
Она оформляет журналы, оформляет...
She draws calendars for the famous London Hotel. And this is such a series of watercolor works.
Это такая серия акварельных работ. И дочки моей сестры...
And my sister's daughter, one of them is studying at Art College in London. And we hope that she will follow Dad's footsteps.
Мы надеемся, что она пойдет по папиным стопам также.
The echo of the paintings of Tabıldı Mukatov will remain forever. The artist will turn off the light, close the workshop door, and the night will come. But for some reason, it seems that the workshop will continue to glow pink, yellow, orange, red flashes, the colors of life and happiness. And let's keep our hands up and look at the windows. What if they really glow?